Starting to stream. All right, this week we have the Joker movie coming out. Mandalorian gets an Entertainment Weekly article and updates on the Spider-Man custody.
Custody battle.
Welcome to the Grizzled Geek podcast, episode 14. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
And we're here with your weekly wrap-up of nerd news.
Mostly weekly.
Yeah, mostly weekly. We've missed a couple weeks.
Yeah, here and there.
You know, various commitments.
Yeah.
Mostly work, that four-letter word. But we're back this week, episode 14, to talk about all the cool stuff. Well, actually, Doug probably...
I will disagree with the first one being cool.
We're going to talk about the Joker. Now, first off, why am I feel like I'm short. You're already taller than me, and you're in a tall chair. Now I'm in a short chair. Now
I don't know. I didn't pick him.
This is going a long way towards that Abbott and Costello comparison here. I don't like so much. All right. What's up, Doug? We haven't been together in, a couple weeks now on this podcast. What have you been doing?
Playing lots of SWTOR.
Really?
And watching Babylon 5 with my wife.
Babylon 5?
Yeah, she's hooked. It's great.
Really?
Yeah, I love that show.
Man.
It's so good.
Should get her watching Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, maybe. Eventually.
All right. Joker movie. Now, is this the most anticipated movie for you for the year, or just in comic movies in general?
It's probably since Venom. It's about that same level. Of anticipation. No, actually, I'll backtrack on that. It is way past Venom.
Way past Venom?
In the sense that I won't even go see this movie.
Now, here's the thing. I have no doubt this is going to be a good movie, right? Or at least, well acted. You know, obviously the praise that's getting, heaped on this movie, it's a good movie, right? And when they're bringing up comparisons to stuff like Taxi Driver, right? And, Dog Day Afternoon, well, that's pretty high praise.
Right, yeah.
For a movie. And it looks like right now it's tracking to make about, 90 plus million opening week.
Okay.
Which, for the budget of this movie, is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, and they're also throwing this up there with, like, The Dark Knight and Logan and that kind of thing. No. But I think it's misplaced in that those are comic book movies.
Yes.
This is...
not even close.
Not even close. And the weird thing is, Joaquin Phoenix would kind of agree with us. Recent report is that he didn't even want Thomas Wayne included in this. He didn't like he would have been preferred if it was named after his character. Was he playing in the Arthur? Yeah.
Oh, Arthur.
If it was just named whatever. I think his name's Arthur. I forget what it is in the. Mm-hmm. And anyway, just want to name that, right? And this had kind of an homage to the Joker as opposed to direct comic book references, which I think would have worked really well. Mm-hmm. And you could have used it as a Joker, kind of a Joker-inspired kind of thing.
Yeah.
In the way, and I'd make a similar comparison to First Night.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I love First Night, the movie, right?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a horrible King Arthur movie.
It's a horrible King Arthur movie. And especially, it's more so a horrible Lancelot movie.
Well, yeah, true.
Because that is a totally different character. Like, literally, the opening line is, Lancelot never dreamed of adventure or glory. And I'm like, what?
Yes, he did.
I'm like, wait, who? Who didn't dream of that? Because that is not true. Yeah. But it was a good movie, just a horrible King Arthur movie, in the way that I think this will probably be a good... Probably more up my alley than yours, but a good movie about a psycho,
right? Yeah.
Than a Joker movie, right?
Correct. Yes.
Because there's no way to any reference to Gotham or everything will feel shoehorned in because we know it's not part of the regular canon.
Right.
There's no way it can be, right?
Yep.
I mean, unless Joker's gonna fight Batman when he's in his 60s. Hopping around there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's just so much wrong with this movie. And I'll tell you, and I am dead serious, I will not go see this movie. I'm not going to support another villain movie.
Yeah.
I hate that concept. The villains should be the scary thing that you don't know all of that stuff. You don't know everything about.
Yeah.
It's a mystery. It's the boogeyman in the background that you just get hints of. This is why Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs is terrifying. He's a joke in his own movie.
In his own movie, yeah.
You're just like, it doesn't even matter anymore.
Right, yeah.
Same thing here. The Joker is partly so terrifying because you get the impression even he doesn't know his background anymore. He is so crazy.
So far removed from it.
Yeah, he's so far removed from it. That's why Heath Ledger's portrayal of that whole, want to know how I got my scars?
Yeah.
And every story was different. That totally is the Joker.
Yeah.
This is not.
Right.
This maybe, I have every confidence Joaquin Phoenix can play a psycho.
Yes.
He's not the Joker.
Take that for what it's worth. But yes, he's an amazing actor.
Yeah, he leans into it, so I don't think he would be offended by that statement. So
yeah, he knows. Yeah. And I would be okay if it was like an homage to the Joker, right?
Yeah.
He does the clown thing, is the whole bit, right? And then it just kind of, we didn't include any of the comic book stuff in it, but you could actually, but not mention the city.
Yeah. If you didn't call this movie Joker, or even if you called this movie the Joker, and you went through all of this stuff, and then it ends with a little kid watching a news report about this, and you're going, he's the Joker, not Joaquin Phoenix.
Not Joaquin Phoenix.
Then you'd be all, I guess they could give us that twist.
They could give us that twist,
They could. And if I heard about that, then I would go, wait a second. All right, this might have saved this movie. But if
that one little twist could
without that, nah.
Yeah. Without that, I'd chalk it up to Gotham or Smallville, where.
Well, at least Smallville had
at least he
Clark
was there.
Kent in it. Gotham is like, hey, you know everything you love about Batman?
Yeah.
Here's all of the extra stuff. Yeah. I joke, I kid, because actually Gotham is a character in and of itself. Right. But it's just so removed.
I don't know. When Aqualad gets a costume before Superman does, I'm all, that's a messed up universe. I don't care.
It's true enough. Yep.
All right, but the movie is getting high praise. Critics have really praised this movie. In fact, it just recently won the top prize at the Venice Film Festival. The Golden Lion, I guess, is the...
Ooh.
Yeah. It's, I knew if you were watching, Ben, you'd defend Smallville. All I was going to say is Darkseid was a bunch of birds. That's all I got to say. However, it was rocking really high Rotten Tomatoes score for a while there, but it recently took a hit once it debuted at TIFF, which is the Toronto International Film Festival. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember the acronym there. That's TIFF. Woo! Remember something. It took a dip. It actually, dropped down to 78%. It's still fresh. But,
yeah.
But a lot of the criticism was about something that I disagree with. Their opinion is basically saying that it's glorifying some of the darkness, especially in today's society where school shootings and stuff like that. It's like the picked on guy or the society making a monster, right? Uh-huh. And so the social commentary, the darkness of social commentary is what they had a problem with. And I don't think that should be censored in movies. I think that should be. You know what I mean? It's once you start doing that, you can't kowtow to that. That's
right.
This is art. This is a movie. You should be able to make it whatever they want. There's been dark movies from, day one, and movies with social commentary that are pretty dark. So, but that was all the criticism. All the negative criticism was about that.
Right.
So, it kind of took a hit. It still, to me, sounds like it's going to be a really good movie. Just, I wish it wasn't a Joker movie.
Yeah.
But the comments about Joaquin Phoenix not wanting, didn't like the fact that Thomas Wayne he kind of wanted to separate it, kind of, he would be happy it was it was named Arthur Fleck instead of Joker or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Just kind of homage. I kind of agree with him, especially with, everything. Unless, of course, Doug's right. And there's a little kid that becomes a Joker at the end of it.
Maybe. That would be interesting.
Then I'm like, okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so, like I said, Doug's super excited for the Joker. I will see it one way or the other.
This reminded me of a meme, or not a meme, just an ongoing joke in one of my favorite YouTube channels, What Culture Wrestling.
Yeah.
They've got this ongoing thing. It's so easy to book WWE. I'm like, it's so easy to write movies. All you have to do is this one twist and everything's fine with this movie. It's so easy. So why can't you guys figure this out?
We should get jobs like script, like the fixers, or they go to polish up a script. We don't actually write anything. We just come in and punch up a script.
Well, that's what comedians call it when they make it funny, is calling it punch up. I don't know what it would be if it's just like, make this more comic accurate or whatever.
Make this not suck.
Make this not suck. Okay. All right. Speaking of not sucking, The Mandalorian just had an Entertainment Weekly article. So let's see. Some things we got out of this article. I think we all already figured this out. He is not Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's not a Fett. But he's not Boba Fett.
It doesn't mean that Boba Fett's not in there somewhere or mentioned anywhere. Or
didn't say any of that. He is not Boba Fett. Yeah. He is not a villain, but an anti-hero. I think we already had that down.
Yes.
I mean, based on what we've seen, he is essentially the man with no name.
Right.
They were
saying that he's the kind of guy that wants to do the right thing, but in his line of work, he doesn't always get to, doing the right thing and doing what he needs to do doesn't always coincide.
Yeah. Yep. So. He will keep his mask on, and I hope it is for the entire first season.
That's what they're saying. They're saying it's going to be...
I hope so. And I hope at least for the first episode, maybe the first couple, he doesn't say a word.
That would be awesome.
Let people around him do the talking for him.
I mean, kudos to Pedro Pascal, man.
Yeah.
They cast a pretty actor, right? A good-looking guy, and into a role that he... Not even like Dredd, where you can actually see, his mouth or anything. He's got to do all his acting with
behind the helmet.
With physicality.
Yep.
Presence and just voice. So
I'm looking forward to this so much. But all right, I love this. Taika Waititi is playing IG-11.
That's awesome.
So although he's gonna have to do something with the voice. I don't want to hear Korg from IG-11.
Right,
so he's got to tweak that a little bit. But his quote is, and it's added in, IG-11 is, but very innocent and naive and direct and doesn't know about sarcasm and doesn't know how to lie.
I can see that.
So that likens the droid to a cross between, or Waititi likens the droid to a cross between Siri and HAL 9000.
He's an assassin droid.
It's like a child with a gun.
Yeah.
So all right, He doesn't have a concept of what happens.
Right.
Like that's interesting.
I'm hoping that even though he's not IG-88, which is fine, right? He's an assassin droid. I hope there's mention of IG-88 and Bosch, because the article also had him an awesome picture of him fighting 2 Trandoshans.
Oh, really?
Right?
Nice.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hope we get all of the, let's get IG-88. I heard Mara Jade might be in it, and I don't know if it's true or I haven't heard that, and I seriously doubt it.
Well, here's the thing. They did mention in the article that there's going to be a ton of surprises in here. Now, what they said is, there are no main characters in this, so you're not going to see Luke Skywalker or Han Solo or any of that mentioned, any of those things. But he said... But the quote was, "There's a lot of surprises. People that know extended universe stuff, and people that you'll recognize toys. We don't get the main. He allocated to the toys, the action figures.
Yeah.
It's like your big brother played with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, and when he let you play with his toys, you got to play with Snaggletooth and whatever.
Dengar.
Yeah, Dengar. You're gonna get to see the characters that you.
I would not be surprised to see Bosch, Dengar, IG-88, any of those in here. I would not be surprised to see Talon Card.
Oh, Talon
or
Card
somebody,
cool.
His gang in there.
Yeah.
Those kind of underworld figures will make sense.
Although Mara Jade, especially with the fall of the Empire, if she was
just don't think they're going to go that route and because then you've already established that Thrawn exists in the universe.
Right.
If you throw Mara Jade in, you're essentially saying, this sequel trilogy we did? Well, we're going to reference the better sequel
trilogy.
in our TV show.
Yeah.
So
Besides, they can't introduce Mara Jade until episode 9 when it's revealed that she's Rey's mother.
yeah,
So
yeah, that would be great.
yeah, it would be awesome.
All right, let's see. What else do we have? The show will address the rise of the First Order. At least I would assume that would have to wait several seasons.
Probably the start of the First Order, because there's a split in. Because
but
the Galactic Empire has been fractured, so there's going to be a faction.
Here's the question: Are they going to align with the books that have come out? Because in canon, the First Order is founded in the unknown region,
right?
But they have little cells in there, and I forget what the warrior cult they kind of work through. Bloodlines is not a good book, but it is canon, and it has some interesting elements that they could include in this,
right?
That then and are happening around this time.
Right.
So
what I love is the imagery of this fractured empire, just from what we've seen in the trailers. Like Werner Herzog, right? He's wearing a Moff outfit, but his stormtroopers are all filthy. Like he's like his dirty stormtroopers guards.
Well, and let's go.
There's Gideon.
Let's move on, to this. Giancarlo Esposito's Moff Gideon is a one-time governor for the Galactic Empire whose world was destroyed when the rebels blew up the second Death Star and finally brought an end to the Emperor's rule over the galaxy. And this is a quote from Esposito. He's an Imperial remnant of a very fine officer who then switches to become sort of the guardian of the people. He also mentions he geeked out when he got to climb aboard a TIE fighter for the first time for the series, so you're going to see some TIE fighters. And then another quote from him, but what does Moff Gideon really want? This guy is going to be a big player because he has an idea of how to keep order. So now, first off,
they don't mention whether he's a good guy, bad guy.
You can't have either of the Imperial officers be good guys.
Right.
Now,
I don't think either one of them are going to be.
Yes.
However, there's going to be a good guy in this entire series. This is all gray.
So he will come off as, I think, the good of the two once you get going. I think Werner Herzog's character is going to be the more crooked. Just
because it's Werner Herzog playing him, and he can't play a good guy.
He'll be the warlord, whereas this other guy's trying to maintain the order of the Empire. But you've got to figure that eventually he's going to get kind of power hungry, and he's going to become more totalitarian. And
is it racist to cast the German guy as always the bad guy? Just curious.
I don't. But anyways, everything I hear about this show, I'm more and more excited about it. It is going to be awesome.
This looks amazing.
I guess
the fact that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are the ones spearheading this,
and considering how this is just ramping up and how long it's going to take to really build things out, it doesn't. They've not gone all in. Like, it's not a Netflix where a new show drops every other week or every week or whatever. We haven't got to that point yet. So I'm kind of glad that it's going to be an episodic, weekly coming out, because otherwise I'd binge this and then go, I don't get anything new until February.
The interesting thing about the article, they also mentioned the fact that it costs just over $100 million for 8 episodes, right?
Okay.
But they also mentioned that they had to save a ton of money with props and costumes and whatnot that's already there. Like, they don't have to order. They don't have to make any new stormtrooper costumes.
Well, yeah, they've got Death Troopers.
Yeah. So it was like he said they saved a lot of money on. You don't need to build. They got to use basically cast-offs from stuff from other movies and stuff like that to help them build sets with.
Hopefully, they'll be able to keep some of the same sets for season to season, so they'll have that. I think I hope this show has a really long life. Yeah, because it sounds amazing.
I'm almost. Yeah, I probably am more excited for this than I am episode 9.
Don't
get me wrong. I want to see episode 9, but I think I'm more excited for this.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, just the whole bounty hunter aspect of it, and the fact that he is a Mandalorian, and Dave Filoni is one of the showrunners, and he's the one pretty much him and Dave Filoni and the Old Republic responsible for building that lore of the Mandalorian people, right? So, he's bringing that to the.
Yeah, there's another. There's been a lot of rumors that Katie Sackhoff is going to show up as her character from Clone Wars or from Rebels.
From Rebels.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, forget. I haven't watched that over and over like I have Clone Wars.
Yeah,
I watched it once and it was good. It was great. There was great parts, but Clone Wars I watched multiple times.
So that'll be interesting to see if that comes about. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to Spider-Man.
Moving on to Spider-Man. Okay, well, the Spider-Man custody battle update. It's been over a month since we've got the news that Sony and Disney are, getting a divorce and have custody battle over Spider-Man. And there's been all kinds of rumors and speculation and finger pointing. Whose fault is it? Disney's being too greedy. Sony's taking their toys and going home.
Yeah.
All of this. Several people have come out. Obviously, like Kevin Smith came out and told, Sony needs to get their act together. Let them come back to the MCU.
Yeah.
So as of right now, officially, the deal is shut. Sony's going to go forward with Tom Holland's Spider-Man in a new Spider-Man movie. They're going to shove him in Venom, and then I'm sure Venom 2 is getting rewritten right now to put Tom Holland in it, and so is Morbius.
Well, here's the thing is, if I remember correctly, he's only got one more film on his contract with the options, but he can decline the option.
But they're also holding the keys to his shiny new Uncharted series that they want him to star in too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you know what I mean? You kind of have to play ball when they've offered him a 3-movie Uncharted deal. It's a rough situation for Tom Holland. I don't envy him at all. But when on record is saying I will not watch a Sony movie.
Nope.
If Spider-Man is not in the MCU, I'm just going to hold my breath and stomp my feet. But there is a new rumor that actually just broke today, earlier today, of a deal on the table now that Sony's come out with a deal, and this has been reported widely everywhere, and it is a rumor, so it's grain of salt time, but it was broke by We Got This Covered, and their source is the same source who broke the Miss Marvel and She-Hulk TV series news, as well as that Kate Bishop news long before that was actually announced. So he's got a track record of being right on the Marvel stuff. So I don't know if he's a Marvel insider or not. But he's saying that Sony has come to Disney with an offer of 30% of Spider-Man revenue if they'll include Venom in the MCU. All right. Now, it didn't say, it was very vague on whether that's 30% of like anything Venom's into or not, or just 30% of Spider-Man.
Well,
or
interesting.
If it is, I just make sure Spider-Man's in everything Venom's in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, so that's the deal. And it sounds like a reasonable offer. Because when Disney came out with 50%, everybody knew that was an opening. Opening salvo. And definitely fan.
You don't just skip to the end in negotiations. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Like 50%. Nope. you know. So, I mean, hopefully, I really hope this is true. I'll take Venom in the MCU if it means we get Spider-Man.
Yeah, right? I think they can do well. I think they could do.
I
don't hate the character of Venom, first off.
And I like Tom Hardy.
Yeah, and he was fine. The story just kind of sucked.
Yeah.
The special effects were cool.
The bad guys sucked really bad. He was really bad.
Yeah, the bad guys. The whole thing was just kind of like. It just it wasn't a good moments. It wasn't a good movie, but it had a good actor. It's a decent character. He's not my favorite character, but I don't hate him. I used to hate him, but he's kind of grown on me.
Yeah.
And if they can import him and freaking Woody Harrelson as
Carnage.
Cletus Kasady as Carnage into the MCU,
and let MCU have creative control over the film.
Yeah.
It could be something. It could be another winner for Sony.
Yeah.
You know?
So I hope this is true. I want Spider-Man to stay in the MCU. I hope that if Disney goes through with this deal, they get some kind of ironclad. Yeah. They have Spider-Man until the end of this next round of phases.
Yeah.
Because they are positioning him to be
a major
the
player.
successor to Iron Man, not necessarily in the leadership role, but in that tech kind of role.
Right. They need him for the new Avengers.
Yeah, so they need to lock him down if they're gonna bargain on this.
What they need to do is have him in there, bring Venom into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, introduce Miles Morales, and then let Sony have him. To do with what they want with Miles Morales.
Right, yeah.
And then he's kind of tangentially involved with the MCU without actually having. So you could either, if you're a fan of the Miles Morales movies, you can actually, in your mind, okay, either he's introducing an MCU movie, so he's part of the MCU, or if you're an MCU purist, you're like, you can ignore those if you want.
Yeah.
And just focus on MCU movies.
We'll see.
I don't know. I think there's 2 great Spider-Men, and I think, that would be a great compromise. Although, when Sony puts out a good Spider-Man movie without,
Right, yeah. That's not animated?
That's not animated, yeah, exactly. But the thing is, the animated movie, which was amazing, by the way, but that was all, Sony had very little to do with it.
Yeah.
There was very little creative control, creative input from Sony.
Right. They were just distributing it.
Right. Much like with the first 2 Spider-Man movies that were good. And when they started when Sony started, just a little history lesson here, Sam Raimi, they let him run with Spider-Man, right?
Right.
And then they gave him creative control over Spider-Man 2, and then they forced Venom on him in Spider-Man 3, and look what we got.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the downfall. So probably the best Sony input Spider-Man movie was The Amazing Spider-Man 1, which, was good, but wasn't,
Yeah.
And then 2 was a wreck. All right. All right. Moving on. Speaking of comic book characters and, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a wreck. This is Marvel, so, I mean, we now that Marvel has Fantastic Four and X-Men, everyone's wanting to know what they're going to do with these characters. So
Right, yeah.
we have a little bit of discussion here we want to go over about what Marvel should do with Doctor Doom. Because by far, out of all the characters they got control of, he's one of the most important, right? And the one that we know Kevin Feige wants to has big long-term plans for, right? Because, as cool as Thanos and Loki and everything is, the Marvel bad guy in the Marvel comic book universe is Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
He's the ultimate bad guy, and with good reason. You wouldn't, for those of you not reading comics and only watch movies, would have no idea because he's been portrayed horribly.
Yeah, every time he's been on.
Every time. That's not Doctor Doom, any of those. But now we know they have big plans for him. What are they going to do with him? So I'm going to throw out the current rumors, and then we can discuss what we think they should do with him. So
Okay.
Current rumor is that he's not going to be the bad guy in the Fantastic Four movie. That he's the Fantastic Four. They're going to introduce the Fantastic Four. It's going to be a different bad guy, and they want to develop Doom's origin story on its own first before they have them clash. And the big rumor is that they want to do it in a Disney Plus series, right? Like a 6-episode mini, short series
Okay.
about, the rise of Doom, basically. So it wouldn't really be a bad guy series. It'd be a series about Victor Von Doom and how he becomes
Right.
Doctor Doom, right? What goes to that? And one of the other rumors is that Noah Hawley from Legion fame, who has a finished script for a Doctor Doom movie, and this was back when the Fox days, and he was saying that it was done, and then Marvel has it now, would be looking to develop that into a 6-episode series, right? That is complete speculation and rumor. No, there's
Right.
nothing.
Okay.
That's the rumor that's out there right now. It's not from a verified source like the other one.
All right. Yeah.
So, if that's the case, I don't know. What do you think of this idea? And if you're not for it, what should they do, Doug?
Yeah, I don't like this.
You don't like this? Because I kind of agree with not throwing him up automatically against the Fantastic Four in the first movie.
Yeah.
Although he
Reed should be in it.
He should be in it. Victor Von Doom should be in it, but
Yes,
not as
he
Dr.
does
Doom.
not necessarily have to be. Yes, Victor Von Doom should be in it. You should see their connection.
Yeah.
And in the course of whatever they're doing, you have Reed. Well, the accident that Doom thinks Reed caused,
Right.
that scars him, and then you can have him
So if they did the
leave
series,
with
Reed
it.
would need to be in that series as well.
Yeah, but I don't like the idea of the series for the simple fact of I don't want Victor Von Doom to be the protagonist of a series. He's supposed to be this arrogant, self-important, entitled, kind of noble.
Megalomaniac.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he starts out as a megalomaniac, but yeah, he is.
He eventually becomes. He leans into it heavy after the scar.
Correct. Yeah. So that just doesn't work for him to be the protagonist of a show, because for Doctor Doom, there's only really one story in which you should have any kind of sympathy for him or any kind of empathy for what he's doing. And that's this. I don't even know that you need that for the MCU.
Is that his mother?
The soul of his mother. If you're not, because one, in the MCU, I don't. Here's one thing. Doom is an amazing character, but he suffers from being an amazing character that they needed to just, it's like, we don't have a good bad guy for this guy, so we're going to throw him over here. And, because he's against this guy, he needs something tweaked, so we're going to give him this. So he ends up going, I'm, as smart as Reed Richards. I've got armor better than Tony Stark. I'm a magic user, almost on par with the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
And he's collected all of this detritus on him that I hope they just ignore that whole magic part in the MCU and just he is the intellectual equal of, Tony Stark and Reed Richards, and has built this awesome armor.
Right.
And, go from there.
Right.
He is the anti-Tony Stark, anti-Reed Richards kind of thing.
There's some great Doctor Doom moments that, for those of you not familiar with the character, there's some, just in the comics, just to tell you about what kind of person he is. There was one moment where he actually takes over the Fantastic Four's tower, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And he's walking through Doom, or through Reed Richards' work area.
His laboratory
with all these amazing inventions. And his minions are like, "Should we collect?" He's like, "No, destroy them all. There's nothing in here that I haven't built a better version of."
Yeah. That is his character explained in one interaction.
In one interaction, you're like, yeah, he's finally broken into his arch enemy's compound. The one guy can match his intellect, and he's just walking through his inventions. Just didn't even look at him. He's like, nope, there's nothing in this room that I haven't already built a better version of. And I'm like, that's Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
And we just haven't got that character. Yeah. That's who I want to see. I want to see that character. Mm-hmm. So however they get him there, I have faith Marvel will give us that character.
And I don't necessarily disagree with the idea of him not being in the Fantastic Four movie. Mm-hmm. Maybe even not, because if I remember correctly, I've not really read the original run of Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I'm actually not that big a Fantastic Four fan. Whoopsie. We're live. Look at this. Oh man.
We're gonna
have to silence that. But anyways, I'm not necessarily the biggest of Fantastic Four fans. I read a stretch of it in the 90s, and I've read back a little bit. But anyways, Doom wasn't their first adversary. No. And you get Doom's origin as a flashback. He and Reed were in college together.
Right. And
all of the stuff that happens that creates the Fantastic Four is post that. So you don't need to have him in their first movie. You can establish them as a
They should establish Victor Von Doom in the Marvel Universe in maybe Black Panther 2, right? Where there's some interaction within the countries or whatever, right?
Oh, maybe.
Just as a cameo, right? And just establish him in that universe, not necessarily as, or mention Latveria.
That's the thing is, I don't think we need an origin for him like a superhero.
Yeah.
We don't see Killmonger's background. we're brought up to it, to the state where he is the bad guy.
Right.
We don't know Loki's background. We're brought up to the state where he is. That is fine for a bad guy, for us to discover as he is, introduced in the movie, what has gone before to make him this person.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be fully fleshed out. That's not needed for bad guys.
And here's the thing: the reason why Loki is such a compelling character and why he can carry a series on his own is because there's so much room for growth with that character. We've seen it. Right. Doctor Doom should not grow. All right. He is who he is. He is who he is, and I mean, according to him, he's perfect already. Why would there be any growth?
Yeah.
So.
And that's an important element to establish.
Yes.
Of his character is he believes he is flawless.
Yes.
He has all of the answers. He is all he needs to be.
Yeah. Which makes for an amazing bad guy, but not somebody you want to see the story of.
Yeah.
Like the best story, just Doctor Doom story, there's a comic run where it was like a bunch of people interviewing their interactions with Doom, right? And so they're seeing, third party talking about Doctor Doom and these various things. And at the end of the comic, you realize they're all prisoners in Liberia. They're all, so it just,
Yeah.
forced to tell how great Doom was. Their stories.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of character he is. He's not. He can tell some great stories. I want him to be intimidating and scary. I want him to be a challenge whenever,
Yeah. So
deal with him.
In my opinion, and I've said this over and over again, all of these people, all of these executives, and all of these writers who come up with all of these concepts for these bad guy movies just need to stop.
Yeah.
They're doing a disservice to those bad guys.
Right.
And just not. They need to learn how to tell
really
stories.
Compelling bad guys need their good guy counterpart, right?
Yeah.
Like Magneto is a very compelling and awesome character, but without Charles Xavier there as the opposite, to him, he's not as compelling.
Right.
Right. Lex Luthor is very complex and an awesome character, but without his hatred of Superman, right?
Right.
Or the one person he's actually jealous of.
Right. Yeah.
That aspect of that character is what makes him,
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
Yeah.
The idea of, you need to establish the genius of Reed Richards and his selfless nature.
Yeah.
To then counterpose him with Doom, who is every bit his intellectual equal, but totally self-absorbed.
Yeah, he's the
and then you can see,
mirror,
they are
the mirror opposite.
Yeah, they're mirror opposites of each other. Whereas Doom is super intelligent, self-focused, self-possessed, utterly convinced he is right in every regard. Reed is the exact opposite. He is also super intelligent, but he's selfless.
Yeah. He's also plagued with self-doubt.
Plagued with self-doubt and, questions, whether he's done, doing bad.
Right.
What he's done has been bad and is causing more damage than it's, curing or whatever. So you've got to have that dichotomy. If you don't, when are they going to learn? You can't do these bad guy movies like this. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
What makes these bad guys compelling is they're the good guy.
You are not supposed to empathize with 90% of bad guys.
Right.
There should be, like, Killmonger's a good example, and even Loki, both good examples of, yes, there's this one little bit about them that you can empathize with. Oh man, this was bad. This thing that caused them to go where they are or to turn them where they are, that was bad, but they took that in a bad direction and ran with it.
Right. They made bad decisions.
They made bad decisions from that point.
Yeah. That's what makes a hero. Yeah.
But you can't do that with Doom.
No, you can't.
Doom is not like that. Doom is a totally different character than that. And utterly unique in that sense.
In the fact that
that is why he is such a compelling bad guy. There is no other bad guy like him. That's just.
There's not a chance of redemption because that would not enter in his mind. Because a redemption would mean that he made a mistake at some point, which is not something that he can ever believe.
And I've got to say, I have not read the infamous Iron Man, where Tony Stark dies and Victor takes over as Iron Man. Mm-hmm. But from what I've heard, even that can kind of play into his character because he believes he can be a better Iron Man than Iron Man was.
Yeah.
Even though he's doing good stuff, he's doing it because he thinks he can be a better good guy than any of the good guys could be.
Right, yeah.
So
it's just...
he's still playing into his character. Which is why that character
is so unique and so cool. So is he... Yeah. Well, for me, he's the one character that Marvel acquired from Fox that I most want to see.
Okay.
What about you? Is it out of the ones that you acquired? I mean, obviously I want to see Wolverine, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I do want to see the X-Men on screen.
I mean, there's rumors of Wolverine Hulk movie.
Yeah, that would be cool.
A
buddy movie.
Yep.
Start off with
a fight.
With a fight in the Canadian outback.
Yep.
And then do some kind of like buddy cop movie.
Yep.
They did really well with him and Thor, so I think they could do that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see the new Avengers with, they're not going to do it, but I would like to see the new Avengers with, Luke Cage and Wolverine and Spider-Man. And
well, they did mention, also another thing, the Defenders, Marvel has announced that they have plans for the Defenders.
Oh.
So...
Now, Defenders from TV?
From TV.
Or Defenders?
Not necessarily their not necessarily their actors.
Okay.
Right? But because they got less than 2 years, but 2 years, so they can start planning now. Because they can use the characters in 2 years.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would be interesting.
Although, Mike Coulter is Luke Cage and Charlie Cox is Daredevil. I mean, I can't see... If you're... replacing those guys are, perfect. I like Jessica Jones too. The cast was awesome.
Cast for all of them were fine.
Yeah.
Those two just so fit the character that you're like, I can't see anybody else doing it.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anybody else that. I'd like to see. I'm not even super like I got to see Magneto as a bad guy in the MCU. I don't really know.
Right.
I do want to see that, but
I want to see a whole bunch. I want to see Silver Surfer. I want to see Galactus. But Doom, I think, out of all of them, just because I want to see him done right. You know what I mean?
I would like to, again, this is one they're not going to do, but I would like to see them do. What is the story called? Annihilation.
Oh, Annihilation.
With Annihilus.
Yeah.
Who's he's a Fantastic Four bad guy, so I'm assuming they got the rights for him.
Yeah.
And that whole Annihilus storyline, which is what gave us the new Guardians of the Galaxy we have now.
Yeah.
But it was also a huge Nova story.
Yeah.
So there's a lot.
That could be a big event thing,
Yeah, so.
But yeah.
Yeah, so.
All right. Well, fun to little speculate there about Doctor Doom. When I heard that rumor about Doctor Doom,
I will continue to get on my soapbox. No bad guy movies.
No bad guy movies.
Stop it.
All right. So now on to our smaller stories, our nerd nuggets, our geek bites. First off, Alexander Skarsgård joins the cast of The Stand as Randall Flagg.
Okay, which one is this?
The Stand is
No. Is this the father or the son?
No, actually, it's the older brother.
Older brother.
Yeah. His younger brother plays Pennywise.
Okay, yeah. I can never keep these guys straight.
Their dad is...
From Thor.
Selvig. Yeah,
Selvig.
Yeah, from Thor.
Okay.
So, yeah. So their dad is the old man from...
What has Alexander Skarsgård been in?
He's like in a Tarzan movie, that last Tarzan movie.
No.
He's been in several things, but he's the big muscular one.
Okay.
And then his little brother's like the skinny one that played Pennywise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They're all.
Interesting, but okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the guy enough.
I like Alexander Skarsgård.
And I don't know The Stand, so I know it, but I don't know it.
But you know Randall Flagg, though.
I know who Flagg is.
Right.
Although I don't know that I ever pictured Flagg as a big buff guy.
True. True Blood. That's what he's most known for. Thanks, Ben.
Was he Eric Northman?
Yeah, he's the blonde.
That's Eric Northman, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I don't watch True Blood.
I don't either. That's literally the only character whose name I know.
I like a lot of the actors from True Blood, right? But I don't know.
You don't want to watch vampire porn?
I don't. Yeah, I'm just not. Don't. doesn't do it for me. But he's an awesome guy. Randall Flagg. The thing is, you have to have someone cool from Randall Flagg, because this was to Stan is the first time, literally the first book that Flagg was in, who later became Stephen King's main bad guy in a ton of his stuff. Right, it all follows the Dark Tower lore.
Okay.
Just really sad, that movie. It just makes me sad that all the other extraneous stories around Dark Tower are awesome, and then they give us that crappy movie.
All right. Margot Robbie's production company just optioned the rights to Tank Girl.
No word. So everyone's assuming Margot Robbie will take on the role as Tank Girl.
Yeah.
Previously played awesomely by Lori Petty in the 90s.
Yeah.
That was a very underrated movie. It kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah.
But it was actually, if you're familiar with the comic books at all.
I'm not.
Well, it was right on the same satirical, edge. I like that movie. I like Lori Petty, so I was like, big fan of whatever she was
It's kind of
in.
like a punk-inspired comic, right?
Yeah. Post-apocalyptic punk inspired. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully, I was trying to picture Margot Robbie in that role, but it's kind of very similar to Harley Quinn, so.
Yeah, all right. And I think she's a good actress.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she can do a lot of. I think she has a pretty good range. So
yeah, there was a great for anyone who saw It. There was a great preview for Birds of Prey in front of It.
Oh, was it?
Where there was like a bunch of red balloons coming up from Pennywise, and all of a sudden one gets smashed with a mallet, and it's Harley Quinn, and she's like, "I'm so over clowns."
That's awesome.
So, yeah, and that was it. That was the entire teaser for it. So, but yeah, it was.
That's great.
It was pretty awesome. All right, moving on. Haley Steinfeld is up for the role of Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye series. Now, Haley Steinfeld, you're familiar with her. She was from Bumblebee, Ender's Game. I'll always remember, first time I ever saw her was
in True Grit, right?
Yeah, the little girl from True Grit. That's when she was young.
Right, yeah.
But she was very impressive in that movie.
Yeah.
So
cool.
It's like after I saw the movie, I'm like, oh, I'm going to keep an eye on her. She's a good actress. But yeah, it's Kate Bishop, so I can see that.
So they're going to go with the whole... never mind. We won't talk. We'll talk about that when more rumors come out. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Young Avengers rumored to be another Disney Plus series in the works, which is interesting because they showed us that there was that leaked list of possible upcoming projects, and Young Avengers was on it, and we assumed it was a movie.
Yeah.
I think this is a better idea.
I think so too.
Because
it lends itself better to those characters. Right?
And the lineup that was also on that, if you take that leaked document for it, and what we know so far for Phase 4, nothing in that lineup builds towards a Young Avengers. But if you go with the idea that Kate Bishop could be in the Hawkeye series, we've already been introduced to... Ant-Man's daughter,
Stature,
who could be Stature,
right?
So
and we know they wanted to bring America Chavez in too, which is perfect. That's where.
Yes. So let's. I'm all on board. Disney Plus series.
Series. Yeah.
And I want more Marvel Disney Plus series. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
I think the Netflix shows showed that you can do a lot with some more nuanced characters
some would call minor characters that probably couldn't carry a movie.
They couldn't carry a movie, but people are still be interested. They can still tell some good stories. I'm all for this. Speaking of
Marvel TV series, whatever happened to the New Warriors? Now, some of you are just now thinking to yourselves, oh yeah, there was a New Warriors series that was supposed to come out, wasn't there? All the way back in August of 2016. Wow, that's a while ago. I didn't think it was that long ago, but yeah.
Right.
They announced they're doing a New Warriors series. So it was Squirrel Girl and Night Thrasher and Speedwall and the whole bit.
Oh, they're Night Thrasher?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the whole...
Namorita?
No, not Namorita.
Probably not, because they wouldn't have had rights to her yet.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't want Nova on the... In this, he needs to be more galactic focused.
Exactly. But they shot a pilot. I remember because they announced the cast, and made headlines because Mila Von Traub, the AT&T girl, was cast as Squirrel Girl, right? She was the big name for that one. She's
Okay.
yeah. You don't remember the AT&T girl that was? Never mind.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But she was cast as Squirrel Girl, and the pilot tested well.
I probably just blanked it because it was in the sentence with Squirrel Girl. I'm
Yeah, what?
She does not exist in the Marvel universe for me at all.
Yeah, it's a blank spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, they tested the pilot in 2017, and it went over well. Scored really well with critics. It was supposed to premiere on Freeform April of 2018. But then Freeform mysteriously said, they didn't have room in their lineup for it. They want to push it off to early 2019 or later, later in the year. But it was around the same time that Disney stopped greenlighting any non-Disney Marvel TV series, right?
Right, yeah.
And that's when the Netflix series started dropping.
Right, yeah.
Getting canceled and that because they wanted to bring everything in-house, probably in prep for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So, what does that mean? Does that mean it will, it's going to be on Disney Plus? Well, the thing is, we recently met up with the actor who played the bad guy in it, although we don't know who he's playing, but he's the bad guy. He was saying that that last he heard was over a year ago, and they couldn't find a home for it. So he says he's willing to come back and reprise the role, but he has no idea what's going on with it. So if you figure if it was something they were prepping for, Disney Plus, that would be what I think. I think it's probably going to end up much like most pilots shot, but has never seen the light of day.
Yeah.
Because this was done prior to Marvel having full control over their series, right?
Right.
And when it was going to be on Freeform, it's just like Cloak and Dagger and Runaways. It's Marvel adjacent, right? It's not part of the actual Marvel universe. So they had probably free reign to do what they wanted with the characters.
It's not going to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It'll never turn.
Anything that's going to be on Disney Plus is going to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think anything that they don't have full control over or had full control over from the inception, which is probably why New Mutants will probably
never see the light of day. And I actually liked the New Warriors when they came out. Mm-hmm. But they were totally different. They weren't a totally.
Thor. They debuted in Thor.
They did.
Yep.
And they beat the Juggernaut.
They did. They beat the Juggernaut.
They beat the Juggernaut in their debut episode. Well, they beat the Juggernaut. In they, like... I'm trying to remember. I think they got him to stand still and then encased him in concrete, and then he wasn't moving.
Right.
So he couldn't be unstoppable.
Right.
Or something along those lines.
He wasn't... He hadn't started moving before they encased him.
Yeah.
And I think... somehow they hardened the concrete quickly.
Yeah, I think that was in Acts of Vengeance that they showed up.
Yeah, I think it was. 90s comics, folks.
Yep. And I like that initial team. The problem is that you really need Nova to be
in the cosmic part.
In the cosmic part.
Yeah.
I don't know that Night Thrasher is going to translate.
The other one they had in the series was like a fat kid who would speak to electronics. I don't know what his name is in the comics. He's one of the later ones, like Squirrel Girl was added later.
Oh, yeah.
I think the only original ones were Speedball and Night Thrasher. Yeah.
Because, the original team, I think, was just 4 people.
Speedball, Night Thrasher, Nova, and
Namorita.
Namorita, yep.
And then later on, they got Rage.
Oh yeah,
Rage was like a 13-year-old kid who's is big and buff as the Thing or something like that.
He was in the series.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
That was the other one.
He was actually a pretty cool concept. Yeah. What if a 13-year-old kid was as almost as powerful as the Hulk, or something like that.
But yeah, so a little way back, not way back, but. Yeah, it was one of those head scratchers. Like, whatever, with all these announcements of all these series, whatever happened to the New Warriors? They filmed that. They announced at Comic-Con the cast.
Yeah, I got to say I'm pretty glad it's getting shelved because I just don't think it's the same.
Yeah, it was announced the same time as Cloak and Dagger was announced, and Cloak and Dagger's on going into season 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a little easier to just do as a teen drama.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so.
All right, folks. That about wraps it up for today. Thank you for joining us, Ben. We miss you.
Yeah. Play some Star Wars.
Play some Star Wars. All right, guys. We'll be back again next week. We actually are able to do this on Thursdays now. We thought we might have to move it to Sundays.
Nope.
We're going to stay on Thursdays.
Yeah.
6:30. We'll be here. We're back next week with episode 15, where we'll talk about more of Doug's favorites. Give you an update on Joker.
Yeah. Would be great.
But in the meantime, please, if you're watching us on YouTube and you want to actually just listen to this sometime, recap it, we'll be on Stitcher and iTunes.
Correct.
And then if you are listening on Stitcher and iTunes, thank you very much for listening. If you want to see our faces, you can watch us on YouTube. This episode will be there. Ben has an update for us. All right. And if you go to YouTube, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. We're trying to get our subscriber count up. We really appreciate it. And once you get there, if you want to support us and the things we do here, please check out the links that'll be down here in a week, but are on our other videos.
Yeah. Yep.
And those links are...
We got a Teespring store where you can get shirts like this.
I'm wearing one.
You're actually wearing one. Yeah, sweet. We have an Amazon affiliate link. If you click on that and do some shopping within 24 hours, anything you buy, we get a small kickback. Doesn't cost you anything extra. Or you can check us out on Patreon and support us there.
Yep. And give us money directly, which we always love that.
Yep.
So thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Oh, and I guess I better prepare to leave. I was going to walk away later. But I think we have an outro here again with our local folk hero, Andy Warpigs, singing us out. We'll see you next time, guys.
Probably with the same song.
Probably. She